You're looking at the Bushmaster Survival Kukri from United Cutlery. Just a sweet looking blade. I love the design of it. I mean, it just spoke to me when I saw it. Got it on a sweet deal. But man, there are some drawbacks. It's got the cutting power as far as like swinging, chopping, cutting, but it's not sharp when you get it. And this is an out of the box review, so look at that cut. Look at that. I mean, and that's honestly, that's just pure heft. This thing did not show up sharp hardly at all. I mean, yeah, you could probably manage to cut yourself with it, but I mean, it was kind of pathetic how dull it was when it showed up. And I wanted to just go right out of the box with it. Okay, so here's one of the first drawbacks to this. As I was using it, the pins was starting to slip in the handle, and the scales were starting to come off. So I peened them and used some fabric athletic tape to wrap it, because that thing would eat your hand up too. If you look in one of my shorts, I just wore blisters on my hand to the point I had to stop chopping this like square post that I had. I was bleeding and it just ate my hand up. But I still love it. I love the design of this thing. The problem is, as you can see right here, I mean, it is a struggle to cut anything with it, like an actual cutting edge use of this knife. Now that might change if I actually put some time in on it and sharpen it up, and I'm surely going to do that, but like, it doesn't give you a fair look. If I sharpen this up and, you know, let's say I sharpen this thing up razor sharp and it just burnt right through that. That's not fair to you if you're looking to this to see if you want to buy something. So I'm just going to tell you what you're getting out of the box. You're getting a chopper that's mostly dull. A really heavy, badass looking chopper. And time will tell, you know, I might even do an update on this, and just based on how, you know, because this is going to be a project going forward. I freaking love this blade, to be honest, but it has everything to do with just it being a thick slab of steel that I'm hoping I can actually sharpen up, and I might even change the scales out. I peened them back on, they're fine now, but you shouldn't ever have to peen your scales back on a knife that you bought for like $60. It wouldn't cut that veg tan leather right there worth of crap either. So expect this if you're going to buy this knife. And I haven't seen another review of this on YouTube, which is another reason I think that it's important to almost have a consumer report here. This thing is just terribly dull. I mean, I cannot stress that enough, that if you buy this, you need to see it as a project. You know, yeah, you've got some hefty blade stock, but you're also getting a hollow grind. And as you can see, it could deliver the chop. But here I'm trying to feather stick, and it's just not working, man. This thing really not working out there either. And moving forward here, you know, I try to use a ferro rod with this. And yeah, the little sharpened swedge on the harpoon type top end of this, it'll strike it really well. But just being as thick as this is, it's kind of a clumsy tool for striking a ferro rod. And I probably could have done better if I had it on the ground and used the back spine closer to the handle. I was just trying to get a good view of it up here on the stump. And we didn't even manage to strike this off, quite frankly. I mean, it was so cumbersome to use as a heavy tool for striking that, which I could have used a striker. It comes with a striker. You can use a rock with it, but something else that surprised me about this is an Uberleben ferro rod. Really soft, really great ferro rod for striking. Easiest ferro rod I've ever had to strike with a knife of any kind. However, when I was striking the back of this, it was actually rounding the corners off of the blade stock of this kukri. Like, I don't even know if you can get it in, but I'm going to zoom in here in a minute, and you're going to see like a little bit of like damage to the corner edge of the backside of this kukri. That just shows how soft this is. And it says it's like 1065 steel. And I'm pretty sure United Cutlery's made in good old China, believe me, better than all the others, China. Dude, this is freaking sad. There's never been a chasm deeper and wider than my excitement and desire to love this blade and the actual performance just shit show that this knife is. It's terrible, guys. This thing is freaking awful. From blisters on the hand to having to peen your own scales back onto it, not showing up sharp, to just abysmal cutting performance of this thing. I really hope that there's some sort of redemption after I try to put an edge on it. And I'm not the greatest knife sharpener in the world, but if I can't put an edge on it, I might even haul it down to A.G. Russell and see what they can do. And if that doesn't do anything for it, there's just no hope. It'd be a nice wall hanger. Again, I want to love this thing, guys, but I'm not going to lie to you. This thing performs terribly at everything that a knife should do other than chopping. I might be able to, come deer season, I might test this in a decapitation video, and I'm probably going to do some other. Look at how bad that cuts. That is thumbs down for sure. That thing is freaking terrible. But I might do some other competitions with other blades I've got, just as far as like does a heavy blade chop better than a lighter blade and that type of stuff. I've got a few kukri, so there might be some face-offs and stuff like that. And like I said, I'm probably going to turn this into a project, maybe buy some micarta scale material and put new scales on it and just see what I can do to salvage this. But to the average guy buying a blade that wants to work out of the box, I do not recommend getting this because it's a piece of shit. It's a cool looking piece of shit, but it's a piece of shit. And we're going to get into the cutting here, the chopping. The one thing that this actually does good, and honestly, it's hotter than piss out here, so I was kind of taking it easy. But it does do a pretty good job of the chopping of a tree down. And as you saw earlier in the video, it'll definitely handle that task. But that is really all you're getting. $60 for a chopper. Nah, bro. I could go get an Ontario Kukri with a full flat grind rather than this hollow grind and have better luck, better performance, and equal amount of longevity without so much shoulder work with I don't know how much thicker this is than an Ontario, but an Ontario is a pretty good slab of steel too. Man, I think that they'd have done better if this... Well, first of all, if they'd have peened the handles on right and used some adhesive or whatever, because I think that's just shoddy, just piss poor craftsmanship on the part of them, not even putting any kind of adhesive there. At least that's what it seemed like, is that there wasn't any adhesive in between the actual wood and the blade stock. And I hate to even just bitch about this blade, because I guess it's just looking at it and it just speaks to me as far as the blade itself, the shape of it and everything. But I still love it, even though it is a gigantic piece of shit. It might be one, but it's mine. I have no idea how hot it is out today, but it is. This is like 4:30 in the evening after a 11-hour shift, and it's just stifling outside with an ungodly amount of humidity. So I'm just like raining on myself under that freaking shirt. And so, yeah, it doesn't look like I'm chopping that hard, and maybe I'm not. I'm just trying to see what this blade will do without getting too freaking hot out there, because it's ridiculous outside. And there is a lot of chopping power with just the weight of this blade. I think that this blade would have done a whole lot better not being a hollow grind, but whether it was like a full flat grind or a convex edge or something like that, I think that that's what a Kukri deserves. I think this full flat grind doesn't do this blade any service, especially with the thickness of the blade stock. And so we're going to move on here to looking at the scabbard here in a second. But as far as this knife goes, I would say it's like a 3 out of 10. Just based on cool factor and the prospect of maybe being able to make something cool out of it if you want to mess with it in that way. But it's not consumer friendly for out of the box, for damn sure. As far as the Scabbard, pretty solid build. The problem comes with the riveted on belt loop up there. They need to be sewing that crap on. Come on, guys. These rivets are going to back out, and it's going to be another failure point on this entire package. So do the consumer a favor and actually sew that shit on, guys. I want to like it. There's part of me that does, but it's the poor guy that makes do with everything in me that wants to jerry rig and fix shit, but this knife generally sucks out of the box. So that's all I can say for it.